Alright YouTube, so today I'm gonna be replacing the injectors on this thing. This is a 98 305 Chevy, and it has what they call spider injectors, which are under this plastic manifold here. There's an upper and lower manifold, and we're gonna be taking the upper manifold off to take the spider injectors out. So I'm pretty cheap, and I got lots of parts for these trucks here, so I'm just going to take this spider injector out and put it into this truck here. This is the spider injector. There's like, I'm not sure how many injectors there are in there, but there's like an injector in here, and it injects through these lines to these little nozzles, which there's the nozzle, which I'll be cleaning up as well before I put this on. Might as well clean it up as best I can. This was come off a running track. Well, it ran until it dropped the bottom end, so this shouldn't be a problem. It'll be fine. It'll go in there. And that's the cover we're going to be taking off today. So I'm going to start getting to do some stuff here, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so you're going to want to remove your air filter lid. Just throw it all over the shop floor. You unplug these two sensors, the mass airflow sensor, and I'm not sure what this one is, but we unplug it too. And then there's normally a bolt here, but I've been working on this truck trying to diagnose what the issue is. But you remove this little air breather hose first. Yeah, there's a nut there, you take that off, and this whole assembly will come out like so. And there goes the air filter. Just throw it over there in the corner. Air filter. Toss it up there. Alright, so next, let's see. And I want to start unplugging wires and stuff. You can label all the wires and stuff if you want, but they're pretty much universal connectors. You can also take pictures of where those wires went, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to take a few pictures and then unplug all the wires, and I'll get back to you. Okay, one thing I just thought I'd mention too, when you're taking off grounds and stuff, always make sure you clean the ground surface, because that one, as you can tell, is pretty rusty, and so is this. So I always, when I'm taking off grounds, I'll clean them up with the wire brush, both, and then put a little dielectric grease on both, and then put it back together. But I'm almost done with the wires here, and I'll get back to you with the next step. Also, to help the process, getting this wire loom free from the intake manifold, to undo those. Oh, I'm not even filming anything, but anyways, undo these things, and then it allows you to get the wire harness out. There's another one back here. I didn't get it, but yeah, you just pop those off, and then you can move the wire harness about freely. Also, there's a hose here. You gotta take this off. It just pull out. Oops. Actually, there's a clip on there. There's a little clip on the back side here, and you'll just bear with me here. You'll just stick your screwdriver in there and pull up on it, and it'll pull out. I got it kind of out here. Ooh, there. I got it out here. So you just pull this out, and then that's your clip. And then it comes off. Then your air line is free. And I'll get with you in the next step here in a second. So next we're going to remove the throttle cable. Some models will have cruise control. This model does not. So normally cruise control would be here, but we do not have that. So we're going to take this bracket off. There's one bolt here and there's one bolt down here. And then this bracket will come off. It will allow us to take our throttle cable off that throttle there, and then we'll be on to the next step. Okay, so now that I got that off, I got the cable out and the bracket off, we'll just set that aside. We'll take this off. This is custom, but yours will look similar. There. Set that aside. Okay, that's disconnected. So next, we're gonna want to take the distributor cap off. We're gonna see this bolt here. There's a screw here. There's one screw here and one on the other side. We're gonna take those off. I'm gonna set the distributor cap out of the way so we can get to this these two field lines here, and we need to loosen those off next. Okay, so I got the distributor cap off, and these are the lines we're going for. I also got them loose already. There's the two direction fittings, and then next we're gonna, I also took this line off too. It was right here with this hose clamp on it. It's kind of in the way, so I just took it off. I also took the wires off. Before you take your wires off, always number them so you know where they go. Take this hose, move it out of your way. And next we're going to be removing these two nuts here to remove this bracket so we can pull this line out. Alright, now I got lucky and I started taking the return line off first. But what you're going to want to do is, there's this cap here. It's right here on this line. You're going to want to take that off, and you're going to want to depress the little Schrader valve to let the pressure off down there, because otherwise you don't, when you go to pry these off, it'll could potentially shoot gas in your face, and gas in your eye is not the greatest thing in the world. So see, as you can see, there's a little bit of gas coming out of there. But yeah, now I got the lines off. Just gotta empty my hands here, and this thing, it should come off, but I guess there's a nut down in here I'll have to take off. Right down in the middle there, you gotta take that off. It holds this bracket on, and then you can pull this this line off. So next, you're gonna want to pry this off. There's a little tab here, and you just pry it off. They're a little hard to get off. I already got it off before. It also helps if you take the safety out too, this thing. A little hard to get off, but now that we're that far, we got pretty much everything unplugged. There's my fuel line that we're just taking off in the last step there. Set that away. So next, there's these 10mm studs right here. There's one on each side of this this valve here, and then it can come, and then there's a few more around. I'll show you on the other one here. So yeah, then so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 studs that you have to remove all the way around. And then once you get that far, you just pry this over the top. As you can see, that plug that we just unplugged stays here in the lower manifold. So once I get this off on the actual engine here, we'll get this off, and then we'll start getting this taken off and put back on there. So I got ahead of everybody, so I'm going to show you what the next step is on this instead of the actual motor, because I'm already a little bit past this. So once you get all the bolts out, you're just going to want to, what I did was just get a pry bar in where it should pry up a little bit, and it's going to be stuck pretty good on the spider injector itself. So what I did was I just kind of pried up on this plastic part here, right about here, and kind of just tapped this with a rubber mallet, and it just popped off. And then you're gonna be, that's what's gonna look like inside your engine bay. And then you're gonna want to take this off and replace it, or do what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this one in from this intake manifold because I have it laying around, so why not try to use some free parts instead of paying, I think they're like $300 or more for the upgrade kit. So yeah, there's you're gonna want to, there's these little tabs here on either side of them, and you pull them out, and then that's where the fuel comes out into the cylinder head. So each port, there's a port there, and each port goes to each cylinder head and sprays the fuel in there. So you take all these out, make sure, like if you're gonna do what I'm gonna do, make sure each one goes back exactly the same cylinder that you're taking it out from. And then I got this one here, it's broken, so I'm gonna need a screwdriver and another hand to get it out. But you just pinch the tabs and pull on them, and they come out pretty easy. And then you get a screwdriver and you pry right here on both sides. There's this tabs here, and you just pry on that and it'll pop right off. So if you ever need to replace one of these, like this one, like it's broken down here, you just take two little screwdrivers, and there's these tabs here, and you just pry them open, and it should just pop off of there. You may need two hands, so I'll get it off and I'll show you. Alright, so I got it off now, and that's what it looks like. There's the old one. They're a little tricky to get off sometimes when they're built up, or dirty, just as dirty as these ones are. But I got one off my old one here that I'll just put on there, and it'll be fine. But seeing as I got it off here, I'm just gonna try to clean that up the best I can, and then maybe take off the rest of these caps and do the same, and just clean this up a little bit before I put it into the motor here. I got my my intake, the bottom manifold, the lower intake manifold, a little cleaned up. I cleaned up most of the carbon buildup the best I could. I don't know, it's better than it was. And I cleaned up the surfaces for where the gasket goes. And then I'm just gonna take that one that I had out of the old, out of this other manifold I got in the back of the truck, and I'm just gonna put it on, and hopefully it should run better than it did. I just have been having issues with this one. In the last couple of days, it started running really rough, and then when by the time I went to go put it in the shop, it hardly even ran at all, and it basically died where it sits. I got it running a little bit better. I cleaned up my mass airflow sensor. I checked my distributor because I had issues with this truck. When I bought this truck, it had 8 in the distributor, the teeth on the bottom of the distributor. So I had to buy a new distributor for it, which I think it isn't cheap. I think it was like $300 here in Canada. But the truck was cheap enough, so it was worth putting it in. I had a brand new alternator on it, so 2. But it started running rough, and I got it in here. I cleaned the mass airflow sensor. Some guy said that this ground wire would cause this issue too. But I had checked my fuel pressure, and I had good fuel pressure. I had good spark at all the spark plugs. It wasn't a misfire on the cylinders. I also checked the compression. They're all very in spec, like pretty decent in spec too. So that's what brought me to do these spider injectors. So all I've been doing here is taking these caps off, and then just spraying them with some deep creep, and it loosens up the carbon on there, and then you can just wipe it off with a rag, and it wipes up pretty good. And then I'm kind of scraping those a little bit with a screwdriver, and then spraying deep creep on these as well. I thought about using carb cleaner, but I was concerned it would make this stuff brittle and then break, and then I'd be taking this apart again and putting something else on, probably putting the upgrade on instead of putting another spider injector, the old spider injectors on. But I'm going to continue cleaning these. I got a few more to do. I cleaned this up a little bit more, and I'm going to use the better O-ring out of the 2 of them, because it's the one that was on this one. This is my good one. It wasn't that good of an O-ring, so I'll put the one off the old one on. It's pretty good shape still. So okay, so this is what it will look like once you get it back installed. I just installed it the same way I uninstalled it on all 8 cylinders, and there goes my light. It's telling me it's dying. So I'm just gonna put this all back together. The together steps are the same as the taking apart, and then we'll see if this thing runs better once I get it back together. Okay, so I got everything plugged in and hooked up, so let's see if she'll start up and run any better than it was. Sounds like it's running better.